I got a big mouth. Came out there. I talk from my heart. I'm real. You know what I'm saying? Whatever comes, comes. But my controversy probably. And it's not my fault. I'm trying to find my way in the world. You know, I'm trying to be somebody instead of just make money off everybody. You know what I'm saying? And so I go down paths that haven't been traveled before, and I usually mess up. But I learn, you know what I'm saying? I come back stronger. You know, I'm not talking ignorant, you know what I'm saying? So I obviously put thought into what I do. Your karma, everything that you do bad comes back to you. So anything that I'm doing that's bad, I'm going to have to suffer for it. But in my heart, I think what I'm doing is right. You know what I mean? And I think heaven is just, when you sleep with a good conscience. You don't have nightmares. And hell is...
What's going on, everyone? It is your girl, Queen Quee, and this is the Boomerang Effect. Now, let's jump right on into it. The topic of today is, do gay people take it too far? Is they stepping on that gas and going out of control with it? You see what I'm saying? Is they finna crash out with all the overly sexualizing topics and, videos and music and stuff like that? Let's get on into it. Okay, so before I start the podcast, I do want everybody to know that I am not biased when it comes down to this particular subject or whatever. I'm so sorry. I do have a different opinion about stuff, but that does not reflect the opinion of anything. As far as I love gay people, I am cool with gay people. I actually have friends and family members that choose to have that lifestyle, and it's all love. So I do not want anything from this podcast to kind of like take away from the fact of, it's all about unity at the end of the day. But we can agree to disagree on something. Just stand on what you're saying. That's the motto of the Boomerang Effect. That's the motto of the Boomerang Effect podcast. Like, everybody can have an opinion. You can agree with me, or you could disagree with me, but I'm still gonna love you the same. It's still gonna be our love. I promise you, I'm not the person who get offended. So, anyways, like I said, is they pushing it? Is they on the gas, or should we wind the tapes and see and analyze the situation? So let's jump right on into it. The first topic I want to talk about is nothing. Waka Flocka and Tammy. These are two people that was on Love and Hip Hop. Waka Flocka is a rapper. He was a well-known rapper that did Hard in the Paint, that did No Hands, and some more other songs. So they decided a couple of years ago, I want to say this is their second season, they're doing a family show on WeTV. It's either WeTV or OWN, whichever one. It's a reality TV show, basically giving an inside look of them and their family lifestyle. Okay, so their daughter, only child, is basically having a quinceañera. She wanted to have a quinceañera, and the thing was, she wanted to invite someone she has been dating for a while that she's in love with. Now, 9 times out of 10, when you hear something like that, you're like, oh, okay, 15-year-old in love, puppy love. That puppy love. You know what I'm saying? So, so therefore, she basically came out to let it be known that the person she wanted to invite and wanted her to escort her to her quinceañera was a girl. So, yeah, she was gay. She was basically coming out and letting it be known that she's gay, she's attracted to women, and this is the love of her life. Now, her mother already knew this incident, of course, before airing, during the TV show, but I guess they never did bring the attention to Waka Flocka, which I think is kind of weird. I don't think that he just now finding out on TV. I feel like he been knowing, or, or they had already prepped him. So, anyways, when they did, the reason why it was a big deal is because that Waka Flocka had his opinions in the past and spoke out about his opinions in the past about, gay relationships and stuff like that, same-sex marriages and etc. So therefore, a lot of people was really on the edge trying to figure out, oh, okay, now it's your daughter. Let's see how you will take it, because you said so much about this situation. So now let's see how you will react. Now your daughter is exactly what, you was always speaking on. So when his daughter had spoke on the situation and told him that that's who she want to be with, is this girl, and she want her to escort her, Waka Flocka really just shut it up. Like, okay, is that it? You all said, like, he basically made it seem like it's not a big deal. Okay, that's fine. You know, if anybody got a problem with it, you know, we can go hard in the paint. Nah, just like, but you know, he basically put it out there like, nah, I love you regardless. Like, I'm not caught up in all it. Like, okay, it doesn't matter. Let's party. So a lot of people was responding to him. It was positive response because they was like, oh my God, Waka Flocka is just so, you know, so sweet, and oh my God, he is such a wonderful dad, and I wish I had a parent like that. So everything was going fine. Then an influencer called I Am Zoe, he had came out, and anybody who don't know I Am Zoe, he's like a comedian slash entertainer. He has been on Wild Now. He have done like reacting videos. Basically, he blew up through social media. But he came out and he had made some statements about the situation because he was, to me, I feel like he was offended that, you know, Waka Flocka, you know what I'm saying, the reaction that Waka Flocka had. So let's get into the situation with Zoe and what he said.
This has nothing to do with the children, like Waka Flocka started. This is just grown-ups, people in general, the world. It's so hypocritical, and it pisses me the F off that, okay, his daughter is 16, and now she has come out that she likes girls, and she wants a girl to be her date to her quinceañera or whatever. Now, mind you, Waka, a couple of months ago, was bashing somebody about their gay son. Not bashing, but, you know, didn't agree. But now when it's your own, this is why I tell people, be careful how you talk about people and their children or anybody, period, because okay, you're gonna have to deal with it. So it's just funny in the comments, everybody's like, oh, he's such a good dad, he agrees, letting his daughter be her. But when you talk about Dwayne Wade and Zaya, how dare he? And Zaya's only 13. Calm down, Zaya. How dare you? It's disgusting. But when it's a girl, everybody's just so, oh, this is amazing, great. That's bullshit. And it makes me so mad. The world is so fake. I'm so sweaty, but whatever. So at the end of the day, this has nothing to do with the children.
Okay. So that's his opinion, and he was just like, hey, it's BS. Now let's break this situation down before I move on to Tammy, which is the mother, her response to him. Now I want to break down this situation with Zoe. First of all, I'm just being honest, and it's funny how he sit up here and said that, oh, it's funny how, you know, you had so much to say and this, and that, and, you know, this ain't got nothing directed to people, kid or whatever, but you are the same person that was just exposed, I want to say last year or a couple of months ago, about basically going live with minors and, you know, letting them know how good they look and asking them about drinking and all type of sexually activities. I don't care if they're 16 or 17, you were still out of line. So for you to even try to even speak up on this situation about somebody kid coming out when you are all online being exposed for basically, you know what I'm saying, like interacting and used to going live with them and talking all type of provocative language, you damn near was this close to being on to catch a predator. So you should have definitely backed down from this situation as far as speaking out. Now, when he stood up here and said that how it's funny because you got to be careful how you put your mouth on people's kids, or you got something to say. Now, I seen the interview, which I'm going to play the interview of what Waka Flocka had said about Zaya or whatever, and we're going to get into that when I play the video, the audio of him and what his response was, because at the end of the day, I don't personally think it was bad. Now, Zoe felt some type of way, and he felt like, well, you got to be careful how you talk about people's kids, and you know what I'm saying, you put stuff out there or whatever, because now look, your kid is, you know what I'm saying, exactly the reason, you know, your kid is basically following in them same footsteps. And I do think that's true. I have seen it with my own eyes. People are so caught up in other people's kids and their people parents parenting skills, where therefore their kids is 10 times worse. You sitting over here worried about, oh, your daughter going out every night? That's crazy. But then your child is over here dealing with juvenile, dealing with grace feeling, dealing with, you know what I'm saying, almost this, dealing with drugs and being sexually over frustrated, you know what I'm saying, sexually over. I am so sorry. let me slow it down. Your kid is basically not in a better situation. So I do believe that you need to worry about your own household, sweep around your own front door before you start giving comments and, advice to other people or judging other people and their parenting skills, because you will look up and your child will be in that same position or even worse. And half of the time, it's sometimes worse, because it's easy for you to look at a situation and be like, oh, that couldn't be me. That couldn't be my child. Oh, okay. And the next thing you know, when you're put in that position, you don't know how to react because you're trying to figure out what went wrong. So let's get into the response of Tammy.
This has nothing to do with the truth. So, I was gonna respond because you talk about my husband and my child. So at this point, let's go back first. You said that he didn't agree. You like, oh, he bashed Zaya, or then you go back and say, well, he didn't agree. So a person not allowed to have an opinion of how they feel without being a basher or hate or be labeled as a going against something or hating someone. They can't have an opinion when they're asked. And with that being said, not once did he ever disrespect Zara. Not once did he ever say he matter of fact, he said, I can't tell nobody how to parent their kids. But not only that, with that being said, let me calm down, Tammy. With that being said, are people allowed to grow? Are people allowed to change? Because it seems like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You get what I'm saying? It's like you're mad at him, or though, I was gonna respond because you talk about my husband and my child. So at this,
okay. So I don't even know where the other clip is, but she basically was saying, like, as you heard at the end of it, she was summarizing it, being like, well, even if he did have a different opinion in the past, if he got educated and he had basically changed his ways, why would, when the position, when the situation was presented to him that his own child was gay, how did you want him to respond? Did you still want him to be the old Waka Flocka that, that had a certain type of opinion? Or did you want him to have the new and approved type of egg? We cannot keep throwing people past in their face. If you say you forgiving a person, or if a person sit up here and say that they change and stuff like that, why is it that they can't speak on a situation or they can't show their growth without a person bringing up the simple fact is that, hey, you know what I'm saying? Well, a couple of years ago, you didn't think like that. You thought like that. Okay, and I changed. Now what? Stand on it. You see what I'm saying? Like, I just think that is funny because it's like people will really hold stuff over your head for the rest of your life. That's not right. You see what I'm saying? If I had my opinion of when I was like a teenager versus now, the 31-year-old is totally different. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I have an old social media, or even back in my MySpace days or whatever. It's some stuff that I used to say and do on social media. I cringe. You see what I'm saying? Like, I cringe, like I shake now because I just be like, what was I thinking? Where was my mindset? Was it, oh my God, I was so young, I was so immature. So at the end of the day, I don't want nobody. I got a brand called I Am Unity, or I have a brand where I'm trying to enlist people or just say different stuff or give my opinion about stuff. I don't want nobody bringing them no BS from no old time or social media when I was in my teens or my early 20s. Okay, I changed. I said what I said. Now, you going to either accept it or you can keep it pushing, keep it moving, because I'm not fit to sit up here and, basically try to convince you that, hey, I changed and but you're right. I have to still feel guilty about some information or stuff that I said. Some people are educated, and that's what Tammy was trying to say. Like, hey, I had a certain type of view on a situation until I was educated. So now, since I was educated and I looked into it more, my opinion is different. So that is basically perfectly fine. So that was the main issue that was coming upon, because it was kind of like, is he wrong? You know what I'm saying, for thinking or feeling a certain type of way because now his daughter is in the same position. Now, this is exactly what Waka Flocka had said, that I Am Zoe had kind of like felt like this was the interview. He was saying how Waka Flocka had so much opinion and mouth to say.
Against the Lil Boosie wild out on Dwayne Wade. What do you think about that? Because a lot of people are getting a lot of questions. They want Waka's like reaction to Dwayne Wade's cutting his
If it was any wrong in it, I'll just say stop plastering it like a kid's a superhero.
I mean, the kid is 12, right?
Yeah, that's a kid. Like
Why would you wait until the kid?
I can't. I'm not gonna tell nobody to wait and how to deal with your kids and anybody's sexuality. I'll just say like, why is it headlines about it?
Yeah, this is crazy.
Like, what if somebody else got a 12-year-old? So I never thought about that, but now he's seeing another kid getting headlines for doing it.
And now you think
kids want to be famous, so could they possibly be famous and seen doing it? But that's a kid's mind is undeveloped, so you know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
You think money is a factor? Because most families don't have money to be like a gangster, Lil Boosie, wild out on
It has nothing to do with the children. Like,
I'm sorry. Okay, so that's what Waka Flocka had said, and if you could hear the audio very good, Waka Flocka had basically was saying like, "Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not fit to tell nobody how to raise their kids. Only thing I say that it should not be plastered all around, like to the point where a whole bunch of different adults have an opinion about a kid, an underage kid." And then he also was saying in the interview, "Yes, I do feel like he's too young. I mean, hey, it's okay, you know what I'm saying, if he thinks he's gay and he wants to be gay, but far as gender, far as like him cutting off his genitals and basically, you know what I'm saying, removing that situation from him for good, yes, he's a little bit too young. Like, if you want to tuck it, put it away, you know what I'm saying, live, you know what I'm saying, live in the moment until you're for sure. Like, I'm going to wait until you become an adult. Me personally, I'm just saying, like, yeah, that is a major thing. Like, you should not kids' minds are still undeveloped at a certain age. I guarantee you, like I just sit up here and say, the same way that I thought when I was 12 is not going to be the same way that I think when I'm 20 or in my 30s. And if it is, not talking about a 10, I might be, something must be going on mentally. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, yes, that was a big decision. So for those to speak out against him and feel like he was in the wrong and yeah, you want to speak out about that and you want to do that, and then look at you, your daughter gay, you know what I'm saying, your daughter in the same situation, but that's two different things. His daughter being gay and, you know what I'm saying, and being in a relationship with another girl versus his daughter trying to have a sex change, those are two different topics. So yes, you know what I'm saying, like, I don't feel like what he said was wrong, and I do feel like that people should be able to express themselves without being called homophobic, without being called, you know what I'm saying, like out about, oh, you hate gays and, you know what I'm saying, you're so against it. And, or, I'm sorry, they should not be basically penalized for that for the rest of their life. Because I never forget, I ain't even gonna say who told me this, but they was like, it's gonna come a time where, you know, being straight, you know what I'm saying, might be a big deal. Like, oh, you're straight? Are you serious? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like so much stuff is being exposed and so much stuff is being like overly sexualized. I just remember the days where they wouldn't even, for example, I Love Lucy. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was a married couple. They had them in twin size bed. Leave It to Beaver and all that type of stuff. They had these people in twin size beds. You know what I'm saying? Remind you, they're being married, sometimes married in real life, but they had them in separate beds. They couldn't even kiss on TV. You know what I'm saying? Barely could even hold hands on TV. Now it's getting to the point where everything is being overly sexualized, like it's being put in the face. And I understand, because some of these musicians and stuff like that, and these people that do TV shows, they are so quick to be like, well, we're not here to raise your kids. You know what I'm saying? You should watch what your kids are saying and doing and what they're listening to. Let me tell you this right now, and I know a lot of people can agree. It's a lot of songs and stuff that my kids probably know, or, you know what I'm saying, things that they have watched that I do not even allow in my house, and they still know it word from word. Yes, they could have went from anywhere to go find out, but this is what I'm saying though. We cannot control them to the max, to the point where even when they're not in our eyesight, we still know what the freak is going on. That's not possible. It's a lot of stories I can probably tell my parents of what I did in my younger days, and then it's kind of like, what, you did that? When? Where? How? You know what I'm saying? Like, even when I became pregnant, I was 18 years old, and my mom was still trying to figure out, so where are you having, where, how could you do that? I don't never see you talking to nobody. I'll never see you brought somebody around. You're always at the house. Hey, but like they say, when it's a will, will, it's a way. So you have to be very mindful that kids are going to be what they want to do. Kids are going to do what they want to do. It's just our job as parents to educate them so they can be aware of it versus letting the streets or versus letting a friend or something like that or just even a predator educate them. Because that's crazy, because I do see a lot of parents these days. You guys sit up here and say, oh, you disagree with certain type of terms and different type of lifestyles, but at the end of the day, you won't even sit down and have a sex talk with your kids. Because why? You feel like they're too young. You'll be surprised how well knowledgeable and educated that a kid is. If you sit down and just start asking your kids different stuff and what is the meaning of different stuff, you will be surprised. We do have to get out that mindset where our kids are so numb and we have them so sheltered. You would think you have your children sheltered until something comes out. And that's even with, the situation about being gay. A lot of two family household have gay kids, like the mother and the father. And then the parents are trying to figure out, what did I do? Where did I go wrong? So that should tell you right then and there that stuff is going to be, out there in the atmosphere that we cannot control. Only thing we can do is we can educate our kids. We can actually sit down and talk to them, get to know them, have them feel at least more comfortable. Because, not trying to be funny, a lot of parents tend to throw stuff in their kids' face once they find out stuff about their kids. So yeah, you'll be all good and gravy right now. Then next thing you know, you put it all in their face or throwing it back in their face and letting them know, like, yeah, I know. And that's why you're running around here with no friends now, because you're this, and that. You posted them naked pictures and you got this, and that. Like, you will sit up here and use their own trauma or devastating experience against them to shelter them even more and to throw it in their face and shame them. So then, therefore, they shut down from you mentally and physically because they feel like, I don't want to be exposed, or I don't want the person that's supposed to be my provider and my protector to sit over here and use something against me. So then what do? They start sneaking and geeking. If they want to smoke, they want to drink, if they want to do this, they're going to do it regardless. Only thing you can do is educate your kids. Do you honestly think that these people that sit out here that are rapists and murderers and scammers and stuff like that, do y'all really think that these parents, can you really blame their parents? I can't stand when people sit up here and feel like that they should blame the parent for what a kid has done or grown up to be. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I do feel like it's a percentage of, of their hurt and pain. But at the end of the day, I'm not raising, if my kids grow up and they end up, being killing and doing this and stealing and doing stuff like that, I did not never raise them to be like that. Who does that? You know what I'm saying? Unless you sick, twisted, and mentally ill, who would sit up here and basically want that for their child? If anything, the motto for when you raising kids is, I want my kids to be better than me. Better than me. Because I know I wasn't this. I know I wasn't that. You know what I'm saying? I know I made mistakes. Only thing I can pray is my kids be better than me. Don't be like me, be better than me. Even if I am a good person and you feel like I'm successful and I got it going on, but it took too much that I went through. So I want you to always be better than me. I bust my behind because I want you to be better than me. So yeah, that was a subject about, do you feel like that when the topic comes up about, homosexuality and stuff like that, do you feel like that it's being exposed too much? Far as like people are taking it too far, people are over sexualizing it. I remember Boosie came out, it was a big deal. It was a big deal about what he was saying about Dwayne Wade's son or whatever, because he was just like, you should not cut his penis out, bro, and he too young, and don't let him do that. You know what I'm saying? He don't even know himself, so don't allow him to do that. Now I would agree with Boosie, but then on the other breath, you talking about something that you take your sons that's around the same age, and when they get 12 or 13 years old, you have a prostitute or a hooker come in there and give them oral sex, or or screw them. And I'm thinking to myself, so you just gonna set up statutory rape. You're gonna set up just basically molestation, but it's different because it's the boy. But you telling me that when your daughter, because you have daughters, when your daughter turns a certain age, you're gonna get a grown man to come in there and give her oral sex, and and sit up here and basically have intercourse with her. So don't do it when it comes down to our young boys also, because a lot of our young boys are overly sexualized too. It's not only the girls, you know what I'm saying? Like these boys are going through just as much trauma and stuff like that too. But then the back end of it is supposed to be, you a man, you a boy, so take it. No, it's not right for an adult woman to sit up here and be seeking out an underage boy, or to feel the need just because she has breasts and stuff like that. It just brings me back to that Antoine Fisher. That Antoine Fisher. Anybody know that movie? I just broke down in tears because I think that was the first time I ever seen or just even thought about, a woman being a predator. And it's not right on both ends. So be very mindful. I'm going to wrap this up because I got another segment to do. But be very mindful of what you put out there in the universe, what you put out there, because your tongue is a very powerful thing. Like I said and say, never judge a book by its cover, and don't judge anybody. I would never sit up here and go out my way to, degrade somebody about their lifestyle or how they choose to do certain things, because that's really none of my business. Only thing I can sit up here and do is sit up here and say is, hey, I agree to disagree. Now, I don't want you to feel like just because I don't agree with a certain type of lifestyle or something like that, that I'm hating or I'm being a homophobic or, oh, you a hater. And I ain't no hater. I just don't agree with it. I never forget, like, okay, it's the last thing. But prime example. Now, anybody that know about South Bay. So South Bay opened up a restaurant. Anyways, his signature move is cutting up the steak, throwing some salt on it, and dipping it in your mouth. So therefore, a man had went up there, a big black dude, you know what I'm saying, muscular dude. So of course he went there for his birthday or event or whatever. So the dude came out, he did his signature move. So as he was fit to cut up the steak and put it in somebody's mouth, he tried to put the steak in this big man mouth. And so then the big dude was like, nah, I'm good, I don't want that. And he kind of like, tried to move his face around because he like, I don't want no man feeding me. Do you not know people made a big deal? This is an example. People made a big deal. It was people out there really talking about, oh my God, if you didn't want him to do that, then you're saying you should have never came to the restaurant, or it's just an experience. If you comfortable with your sexuality, your manhood, then why would you be offended? Because this is another man cutting up a steak and trying to put it in my mouth. I don't care. And I ain't trying to be funny. You damn right. If I go to a restaurant, I don't want no man feeding my man no steak. I probably ain't even fed my man no steak. And you think you finna cut up some steak and dip it? Not like no drop, not no throw it in your mouth. Throwing it in the man mouth, it's man code. I just feel like that was just so out of line. And if that's something that he do not want, people should not bash this man for feeling like I did not want another grown man to feed me no steak, cut up no steak and feed it in my mouth. I came because of the experience, but that's one part of the experience that I did not like. So I do feel like that Sabe needs to get permission, like before he even start his little routine or whatever, and be like, hey, are you comfortable with this? Whoever comfortable with it, can you let me know before I do that? And all these cameras are out, and then you basically shy away from it. No, that man was not in the wrong, because I'm probably the last time he got a steak cut up like that was his mama or somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, he a grown man, and I wish I would go on a date and then a man cutting up a steak and dip it in my man mouth. I don't care. You can sit up here and say whatever you want to say, but at the end of the day, I'm looking at you sideways because I really want to see what you finna do. You finna put that steak in your mouth? Like, wait a minute, especially I ain't never putting no steak in your mouth, so you better be very careful the way you moving. So, yeah, that's just a prime example of how people will really take stuff too far when it comes down to other people's opinions and stuff like that. Everybody is live your life. You know what I'm saying? Do what's make you happy. It's okay to feel a certain type of way. It's okay to live a certain type of way, any kind of way that you want to live. You just have to be comfortable enough to know that if a person agree with it or not, it will not affect your mood. It will not affect your lifestyle, because if it does, then who's to say? 9 times out of 10, you probably was already having doubt. Because you best believe I'm standing on whatever I feel, and you know what I'm saying, the lifestyle that I live, because I know that that's me and this is what makes me happy. So that wraps it up for this. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, share, comment. Let me know what you think on the opinion. Do you feel like that, the situation is over sexualized, do you feel like it's being put out there too much? Please, I would love to hear you guys' feedback. Thank you so much. Love, peace, and unity. Mwah.